This video is part of my Lead to Deal Academy, which is a free Skool community that you can join using the link down below. It's for business owners looking to learn lead generation, agency owners, or entrepreneurs, where I teach all of the modules you'll find in these videos on there. We have weekly calls where we check in with each other and give tips to one another. So as I said, you can join using the link down below, but let's get into the video.
In this module, we're going to go through your calendar settings, so how to set up your calendar, how to optimize your calendar, and basically just to have your calendar set up to work across the full account. This is one of the most important features if you're doing and following this strategy and you're going to be taking booked calls or book consultations. This is one of the most important settings to have set up. So on the left hand side, you have your calendar option. You're going to want to click into calendars. Here you'll have the full menu or kind of overview of your calendar and what's going on. If I choose myself, you'll be able to see the discovery calls that we have booked in with different people looking to work with the agency. This is our agency calendar. Yours might be different, or if you have it plugged in and it's pulling from all of your events, I just have it showing discovery calls as it books into a specific calendar. But on my calendars, there's a bunch of different events. There's client calls, but these are all just our discovery calls. So on here, you get an overview of all of your staff. On the right hand side, you have a list of staff members that you can click into. Your appointment list view will actually break down the appointments that you have. I'm not going to show it because it's personal information, but the calendar settings I can go into, and in here I can actually show you how to set up a calendar. So if we edit our discovery call, I've added the logo of the agency. You also have the name of the calendar. You have a quick introduction of the calendar, a widget that you want to use. Now this is locked to GoHighLevel, so it's always going to be /widget/booking/something. So that could be your company name, it could be your agency name, it could be your business. The group that you want to put it in, you don't have to group them, but you can put it in there. The invite title, so what you want the invite to be titled as. This for us is basically the contact name, so discovery call with contact name. So that would come up as discovery call with John Doe, and John Doe would be the person that has booked the call. It's booking in a call with me, and because I have my Google Calendar linked to my account, you do that through your staff account. So make sure you go to staff. You should have your own user profile and your calendar, link your Google Calendar, and when you're setting this up, it's going to allow you to choose Google Meet as the location. That's going to automatically send people a Google invite for that specific time. You can choose the event calendar color for your calendar. So down here, you can choose the event color. And then your availability, we have 8 to 5 p.m. and this is EST. So 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. EST, you can have your hours set to 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., whatever hours work for you, you can set. If there's specific dates that you want to open up your calendar further, you can do that. Or if there's maybe special holidays coming up, you can lock your calendar even more. Look busy, I leave it to 25%. This is an option to just basically make it so your calendar looks busier than it is. I mainly just do it to break up the time slots because I don't want people to book in between. But you can also do that through your intervals. So the meeting is 30 minutes long. The meeting is 30 minutes long using the duration. The interval, so between meetings, is 30 minutes. And the date range, I allow people to book as far as 5 days. Depending on your business, you can do this much further. If you're getting a lot of booked calls, you can do it even further. But what usually happens is the longer the longer the date range is, the more likely people are not going to show up to your call. Like sometimes I won't even, if a call is 5 days out, usually the person is more than likely going to not show up for the call. If the person is booking in a call the same day or the next day, they're much higher intent, much higher quality lead, and it's much better call to get on. So I've even seen people have their date range set to 2 to 3 days. I leave it at 5, but you can find the sweet spot for your business. I'd recommend a max of 7 days. Minimum schedule notice. I don't have any, but you should be able to set this to maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes. If you have a sales team, it's not really an issue because they're just waiting to take book calls. So it's not an issue for a company. But if you're taking the calls yourself, maybe you want to have a 10-minute, 20-minute notice before you take those calls, and you can put that in here also. Maximum bookings per day. Maybe you only want to take 5 calls per day, 3 calls per day. You can set that. Maximum booking slots per user. So how many bookings can somebody take in your calendar? You can set it to 1. Once they've taken that booked call and it lapses, so it goes past, then they can book another one. So it doesn't mean that that one person can only ever book one call. Pre-buffer time, again, it's just a buffer before the call starts, and then post-buffer time after the call. So forms and payment. This will actually allow you to set up your form. So you set this up in the sites option on the GoHighLevel platform. So go to sites, go to forms. You can create a form and you can pull it in here. The form I use is Discovery Call, which asks a lot more questions, and I'll show you what that looks like. I have a date and time selector. I have the form as the next step. The person can add guests if they want. They have to put in their name and email. Send custom forms to guests, so they have to fill in another form. That's another one you can do, and require guests for booking. So maybe depending on your business, if there has to be 2 people, you can put that in. The confirmation page just brings them to a page where it confirms it. I have my Facebook Pixel booking, the auto confirm new calendar meetings, and the payment. So if you want to accept payments, you can put it in, and that will allow you to link Stripe, and you can take payments directly through your platform or through your booking. There's more than just Stripe, but Stripe is the one that I always use. Redirect URL for this before we move on is actually really good if you want to track booked calls as a conversion on platforms such as Google, because then you can send them to a thank you page. You can track the thank you page as something like thank you booked call, and then that's going to track your conversions, because anybody that goes to that page would have to get redirected from your booked calls. So that's something to keep in mind. Notifications and emails, I'm not going to go into these right now, but if you click in, you'll be able to edit the emails, the SMS, and every notification that somebody gets. So the guest, what they get, the contact, what they get, the assigned user, so the person that's in your business, what they get as a notification through email and SMS, and the additional emails, what they get. So you can do that for each one of these. So you have appointment booked, you have appointment booked confirmed, you have cancellations, rescheduling, reminders, follow-ups, and you have the status label of enabled or disabled. So that just allows you to know what's turned on and what's off. Nobody really downloads our app, or we don't have any clients that we ask to download the app. But if you have internal staff, they will get the notification in app. So it's good if you have staff members that maybe do calls through the app on their phone. Because GoHighLevel has a native app, you can just download it directly. Allow Google and Outlook Calendar to send an invitation. So this will send the standard Google invite as normal also. So they'll almost get 2 invites. And it just means that there's more likelihood of them showing up. I don't think people really see it as spam. Assign contacts to the respective calendar team members. Yeah, that's possible also. You can turn that on if you want. Allow rescheduling. So they're allowed to reschedule up until 1 hour before the meeting. And allow cancellation up to 1 hour. If you don't want that, or if you want it further away, 1 day out maybe, you can change it here. Additional notes, that is attached to the emails and the messages, so you can change that here. And then the customization, so what exactly the calendar looks like. We just have a random image. For the background, we have the Neo setting, and then we have primary as black and white. That's our colors for the agency. And if I click preview, we can actually see what it looks like if you came to our agency page. If you wanted to book in to work with the agency, you'll see the booking slots. If I click and select, you'll see our form asks for the name, email, phone, and then the form starts where it's business name, what's the average value of a new client or job, how many sales and deals do you make per month, do you currently run paid advertising, are you the decision maker for your business, if it makes sense, are you ready to investing. They can add a guest and they can hit schedule. Now, your form could be much more simple. Maybe you ask 3 questions, maybe you ask 4. I recommend asking at least 2 additional questions than just name, email, phone. If you don't ask additional questions, you're going to get really bad leads. But there is the method of just going for volume and getting as many leads as possible. But what I found is that just takes a lot more work, and you get a lot worse leads. So as I said, I recommend a minimum of 2, but you can add upwards to 5, 6, 7 questions if you want. Just keep track of your cost per lead and make sure it makes sense for your business. So hopefully that was a good overview of the calendar settings and the calendar and booking section overall. If you have questions, obviously feel free to ask in the main board of the group, and I'll respond as soon as possible. But yeah, hopefully that gave you a quick overview of the calendar and the booking systems.